When Carrie came and we first started talking, she was just like, for wellness, try, sit on the chair. Okay, fine. And so my husband and I did. And we sat I think an hour a week for, I don't know, maybe 6, 7, 8 weeks. But the most interesting thing happened in my health, which of course, in general, I would say I'm pretty healthy. My husband and I decided to go for what's called an executive physical. Does anybody know what that is? No? Okay. Well, you actually go for a physical. They do an MRI head to toe on you. Okay. And they find anything and everything. But it's like a total battery of tests that they do on you. The idea is to pick up anything ahead of time before it gets worse. Think about it. A friend of mine is an executive. She was number 4 at Amazon. They wanted the assurance that she wasn't going to drop dead. So they send these executives for these physicals. Well, a person can actually spend money and do it themselves. So we went in for an executive physical. Okay, fine. They do a battery of blood work, all kinds of things. So I'm in there getting my EKG, and the girls do the EKG, and they were like, okay, looks great. And I was like, yeah, no, there's no way it looks great. Ever since I was 20 years old, they told me I had a heart murmur, and on my EKG, it would go like this, stops, picks up, and goes like this, okay? And I can feel it. I've always felt it. So I said, no, you have to do it again. They said, no, it's fine. I said, no, do it again and run it longer this time. So they did it again, and they ran it longer, and they said it's perfect. And I was like, wow, how is that possible? Now, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, right? So then I also had a battery of blood tests. And I've had Hashimoto since I was 10 years old. When I was a kid, I was given massive antibiotics for strep throat over and over and over and over again, and I ended up with Hashimoto's. And I've just had it my whole life, Hashimoto's, right? So with the doctor, when he did my intake, he's like, what do you have? And I was like, well, I have Hashimoto's. And he was like, okay, you can run, really deep blood work for Hashimoto's. So when I'm getting my results, he says to me, so you have a perfect heart rate? And I'm like, how is that possible? And he said, honestly, you don't even really have Hashimoto's either. I would never have looked for this. I mean, it's mild. And I was like,